Your best friend.
They weren't allowed to film. They were told not to film there anymore. So in season 2, when we saw, I guess, Melody in this house, that house was gorgeous. I was like, this is gorgeous. He said it was actually the Fletcher's house that scene was filmed in. Baby, we didn't know that. But guys, go ahead, listen to what he had to say. His name is Damien. You can go over to his YouTube channel. It's called Damien After Work. He was a producer on Love and Marriage Huntsville. He did say, Martell, that, you need a break from the show, and that it's either Carlos needs to fire you or give you a break from the show because it's getting too much right now. But let me let you hear what you have to say. And guys, don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Remember, everything on this channel is alleged, all in my opinion, all for entertainment purposes. Thank you.
Somewhere in his mind, he hopes that he and Melody will get back together someday. I think he knows that he fucked his family up. I think he knows all these things. However, Melody's moved on with her life, being around them and seeing, their relationship and watching it as well. Martell was fucked up a lot. He didn't just cheat on Melody and have a baby outside the marriage and that was it. He cheated on her multiple times. She took him back. He would do it again. And there's only so much a person can take. So I understand, she's moved on at this point. She's moved on past him. She's focused on her career. She's dating. She's trying to go on to the next chapter of her life. And I think Martell is still holding on to that. Now, let's get into the juice of it all. Now, the juice of it all is Martell commented on some post. I'm not sure whose post it was that he commented on, but I guess he was pissed at the way the episode came out, the edit, whatever. So he left this comment on Instagram, and I'm going to post it up here, and we're going to read it together, okay? He posted this comment on Instagram. I don't know if he was responding to someone. I think he was responding to a clip that a fan page posted or something. And let's read it together. He says, I don't want her back. This scene is me playing team ball. I was asked to meet with Melody and Carlos called me after me telling the other producers I'm not taking her flowers. She got me in court saying I'm abusing my kids. Now she has merchandise saying she's against abuse. She tried to get me. Carlos begged me to take her effing flowers, talking about the Holts need to take the show back. That's what Martell is saying that Carlos said. The Holts need to take the show back. My only question was, did y'all talk with Melody? The answer was yes. So I was down. But just like you were delusional about at SAPH wanting you back. I don't know who Saf is. I need to look that up and see if that's a real person. But just like you were delusional about Saf wanting you back, it's the same over here. The frustration you see on my face is her not doing what the producer said she was gonna do. All this shit is definitely for TV. We're actors. Carlos, don't delete this. Let's have a real conversation. I might be getting a phone call to fire me after this comment. Sorry, but you guys are not going to continue to villainize me. Make me out to be an abuser, a stalker, or making it seem like I want Melody back. I'm done with y'all making me out to be something I'm not. Film my real life or don't film me at all. Now, I don't know who Martell was referring to when he said, but just like you were delusional about at SAPH wanting you back, it's the same over here. I don't know if he meant to tag somebody and he misspelled their name or what, but I'm like, well, who are you talking about, Martell? Who did Melanie want back? but she was delusional because the guy didn't want her back. I want to know who this guy allegedly was. Anyway, so let's break this down, okay? Let's start at the top. Because he says, I was asked to meet with Melody and Carlos called me after me telling the other producers I'm not taking her flowers. So, here's the thing. Let's say the producers did ask Martell. I want to keep it all the way real with y'all, okay? Just from my experience working on the show. Let's say the producers did tell Martell, why don't you take Melody flowers? Why would they say that to Martell? Think about it, you guys. Use your brain for a second. Why would they just say to Martell, why don't you take Melody some flowers? If Martell's not thinking about Melody in any kind of way, if he don't want her back, if he's moving on with his life, if he's doing his own thing and ain't thinking about Melody the way Melody is with him, why would the producers say, why don't you take Melody some flowers? I'm going to tell y'all why. Because Martell has probably, I'm not saying he is, okay? He's probably telling the producers that he wants his family back. He wants Melody back. I need to say this for context so you guys understand. Because you all may be thinking, well, why would he tell the producers that? So in reality TV, on these shows, one of the jobs one of the jobs of the associate producer or the story producer, whichever producer it is, I'm going to say associate. One of the jobs of the associate producer, which is the job that I had, is you are assigned a cast member. So say that I'm assigned Martell and Melody, right? My job is going to be, when Martell and Melody get to a scene, I'm going to talk to them, see how they're going. After Martell and Melody film a scene, I'm going to call them. Hey, Martell, how'd the scene go? How are you feeling? How did your day go? What did you think about what Melody said? How did you feel about X, Y? So your job as the producer is to have a relationship with the cast. Build trust with the cast, right? So they feel comfortable telling you things. So they feel comfortable working with you. So what I think happened was, throughout the season, when Martell was talking with his producer, because there's more than one producer, guys. You have producers assigned to different cast members. You got a producer in the office following everybody's story. You got the head producers. You know what I'm saying? So there's multiple producers at play here. I think what happened is, while the season was filming, and they're talking to Martell, that he was probably confiding in them and inventing and saying things like, I want my family back. I miss Melody. I miss my family. I regret what I did. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like I recall and remember Martell saying things like that when he fucked up. Back, I was on the show in 2019 and 2020. I can recall even back then him saying things like that on and off camera. So my thing is, Martell, were you saying this the whole time behind the scenes to producers? So now, as a producer, they're thinking, okay, you want your wife back, but you don't want to say it on camera. You don't want to, your pride, your ego's in the way. You don't want to say it on camera. You're afraid of the rejection, whatever. Okay, let's try to ease into it. Why don't you meet up with Melody? Why don't you guys meet up and try to talk? Okay, yeah, I'll meet up with her. Oh, and better yet, why don't you bring her some flowers? Let's start with that. Try bringing her some flowers and see how that's what I think happened there, okay? Now, as far as her having him in court saying he's abusing the kids, I know nothing about that. I'm not going to really delve into that. He says, she got me in court saying I'm abusing my kids. Now she has merchandise saying she's against abuse. I don't know. I never witnessed anybody being abused. I don't know. Okay, let's continue. She tried to get me. Now, he says, Carlos begged me to take her effing flowers. I don't know if that's true. Maybe Carlos did. Maybe he did. I don't see him begging, please, Martell, please take Melody flowers, please. I mean, is that going to make or break the show? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. And he says, Carlos also said, the Holts need to take the show back. And I think if Carlos said that, I think what he's meaning is, I think somewhere in Carlos's head, he hopes for Melody and Martell to get back as well. I think he does. But I think he also knows deep down that's not going to happen because Melody's moved on. And Martell is not going to stop cheating on her just because some years have gone by. You know, they both have to move on. Martell and Melody both. And I think that's also the problem with the show, Carlos. If that's what you want and you hope that they get back together, I don't think they ever will. And I think the show needs to move on from that, you know. Whether you have to get rid of Martell and film Melody by herself, whether we have to give Martell a break and he need to take a few seasons off, I don't know. But I don't see how they're going to really exist in a space together and coexist unless you know, the children are around. The only sense it will make for Martell and Melody to be in the same room together is if their children are involved. Other than that, them going on couple trips, them going to dinner with the Fletchers or seeing Tisha and Marceau, it just doesn't make sense for them to be together to do that. So I think that's what the next step they need to take with that show is figuring out what to do with the Martellity and the Martellity. The Martell and the Melody of it all, right? So he says the whole Carlos says that Carlos says the Holts need to take the show back, and then Martell says my only question was, did y'all talk to Melody about it? So if you didn't want to get back with Melody, Martell, if you didn't want to do anything with the flowers or bring her flowers, why did you ask the producers, well, did y'all talk to Melody? Because you wanted to make sure she was on board with it. You wanted to make sure she wasn't going to do what she did in the episode, which was tell you, I don't want the flowers, you know, whatever. And maybe the producers did talk. Let's say all this is true, what Martell is saying. Maybe the producers did talk to Melody and say, hey, how would you feel if Martell brought you flowers to the scene? And maybe she knew and she clowned you on camera, but I don't think she knew. I don't think producers told Melody that Martell was going to bring flowers to the scene. So I'm not saying Martell is lying. Maybe that did happen, but I don't see that happening only because, here's another little insight. On these shows, you don't give the cast any information about the scene. When a cast member walks into a scene, the most they may know is what it's about. Like, am I going to a fundraiser? Am I going to a coffee shop to meet with Tisha? Am I going to the gym to meet with Martell? That's the most you're going to know as a cast member, right? You're not going to really know what you're talking about. I mean, you might know what you're talking about sometimes. Sometimes the producer might say, hey, bring this up. Hey, we need you to talk about this. But overall, I don't see the producers saying to Melody, how would you feel about Martell bringing flowers? Because then that kind of taints the authenticity of the scene. That kind of jeopardizes the authenticity of it, right? So he says that the producers told him that, yes, they talked to Melody about it. And then Martell goes on to say, but just like you were delusional about whoever wanting you back, it's the same over here. Now, that line right there tells me that Martell watched this scene, got in his feelings, got upset. And that line right there, Martell, just makes it look like you do want her back and that you're salty that she clowned you on TV. Saying, just like you were delusional about so-and-so wanting you back, it's the same over here. He says, the frustration you see on my face is her not doing what the producers said she was going to do. What did the producers tell you that she was going to do? Say, oh my God, Martell, yes, thank you so much, I want you back. Let's go live happily ever after and ride off into the Huntsville sunset and make baby number 5. Hell no. Come on, Martell. And I like you, Martell. I really do. You've always been kind to me. But come on. I'm just not believing that part either, Martell. The producers, you've been doing this show for what, 5-6 years? The producers are not going to tell you that another cast member is going to do this. It just doesn't work like that. And I'm telling y'all because I know. I've been there. I was there. I know, well, not this particular scene, but I know. They're not going to give you a heads up of this is going to go down. This is going to go down. This is going to go down. Y'all think the Real Housewives of Atlanta producers told Sheree, or told Kim Zolciak that Sheree was going to tug her wig a little bit? Y'all think they told Danielle Staub that Teresa Giudice was about to flip the table? No. Now, the part that got me to where I wanted to make a video about this is he says, the frustration you see on my face is her not doing what the producer said she was going to do. All this shit is definitely for TV. We're actors. Carlos, don't delete this. Let's have a real conversation. So that's the part that I wanted to make a video about because, listen, there's such the biggest stereotype in reality TV that it's fake, that it's scripted. And listen, there are some shows that are fake, that are staged. And it could be scripted, but Love and Marriage is not one of them. And we have to really think about what he's saying because he's saying that they're actors, and this is all for TV. This is definitely for TV. If you were, first of all, if y'all were actors, you wouldn't be able to act your way out of a motherfucking plastic bag. None of y'all would be able to act. It would come off so awful on TV. We would be able to see right through it. Okay? It's just not you guys. Like, I just want to stress that enough because I can see why people think it is fake. But if it was scripted, think about it. The cast members would have to memorize, and I got coupons over here, but the cast members would have to memorize a script every night. Show up, action, say the script. A lot of these people on reality TV, and this, I'm not referencing the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast. I'm talking about as a whole. A lot of people on reality TV could not memorize a script to save their life. They can barely memorize their social security number. Y'all think they could memorize a script? Come on now. It's not fake. It's not staged. I'm gonna give y'all the real tea. The most it is you get a schedule, just like you do with a job. You get a schedule that says, this is on Monday, you're going to show up here. Tuesday, you're going to show up here. Wednesday, you're going to show up here. Thursday, you're going to show up here. Before the season, the cast members tell producers what's going on in their life. This is what's going on. I just had a baby. My husband's been drinking a lot. I'm depressed. I'm unhappy. He's abusive. The producers will take what you're telling them, what's going on in your life. Okay, let's build a story around it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we're going to... Then they take what the cast member has told them, and that's how they build the storylines, and they build the episodes, right? That's how they build the schedule. You're going to show up here. We're going to film this. We're going to show up to counseling for you and your husband, and you're going to film this. We're going to show up here, and you and your husband are going to have dinner, and you're going to discuss why he's abusive, right? There's no script. It's like somebody coming into your life and taking your life just all over the place. It's like a producer come in and they take your life and like put the puzzle pieces together to tell a story and show your life, if that makes sense. The most part of reality TV that is staged is being told what to talk about. Because think about this, in real life, if you and your friend get into an argument, chances are you're probably going to just ignore your friend until you guys are ready to talk about it, right? Or if somebody in real life pisses you off, you're like, fuck you, and you go about your way. On reality TV, if somebody pisses you off, okay, we're going to go have lunch and we're going to talk about it. Which is actually how it should be done in real life, you know? We avoid issues and they fester, when in real life we should sit down and talk about it. We could take notes from reality TV if you think about it. But, yeah, they're not actors. It's not staged. It's not scripted. It's not all for TV. Now, there are some shows that do. There are some things that aren't real. And when I say that, Here's another example. When I was on the show, Melody and Martell, they lived in this gated community, and the HOA, the housing authority, whatever you call it, the HOA despised the fact that Melody and Martell were filming a show because we would have 3, 4, 5, 6 cars outside their house, right? So the HOA didn't like that. So they told us we can no longer film in that neighborhood. So what happened? We end up filming in the Fletcher's house. Y'all know the Fletchers? You're watching Love and Marriage now. You know who the Fletchers are? This is before the Fletchers were on the show, season 1 and 2. Go back and watch season 2. You'll see Melody and Martell are filming in the Fletcher's house in some of those episodes. The episode where Martell gives Melody the push gift, or the necklace or the ring, he gives her some kind of jewelry. That's in the Fletcher's home. We had to go find a home for them to film in because the HOA wouldn't allow us to film in their home. That is probably like the most scripted or fake that it is. I hate using the word scripted because that's not true. But that's the most fake or staged that these shows get. Little things like that they'll do, you know, to try to maneuver. But as far as it being fake, come on, Martell. And I don't understand why Martell's doing this. Like, I get that you're frustrated and you're pissed off because you look a certain way on TV. It looks bad, I'm not going to lie. I understand. So you're trying to take the narrative back. But don't throw the show under the bus. Don't throw this opportunity that you've been getting under the bus, because y'all have made a lot of money off this show. You've made a lot of money off this show. You've got a platform off this show. Your children are going to be able to eat for years off this show. Now, regardless, they would have been able to eat, I think, regardless had they had the show come along or not. But I just hope that, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, because if we read the rest of the conversation, Martell says, I might be getting a phone call to fire me after this comment. Sorry, but you guys are not going to continue to villainize me, make me out to be an abuser, a stalker, or making it seem like I want Melody back. I'm done with y'all making me out to be something I'm not. Film my real life or don't film me at all. Martell, that is your real life, babe. You do want Melody back. Like, let's stop acting like that. You know you fucked up. You hate that you fucked up, and you want her back. But it's not going to work. And you tried it, and it didn't work on the show. And to be honest with you, if I was Carlos, I don't know if I would fire you, but I would definitely suspend you for the next season or 2. I think Martell needs a break. I think the show needs a break. I don't think the show needs to go away for a break. I think the show needs a break from Martell, and they need to, you know, let him go for a while, let him figure out what he wants to do, film Melody separately, because them being together is just not authentic, organic, just doesn't make sense. I don't talk about Love and Marriage a lot. I don't talk about it on my channel much, because like I said, I'm not watching the show like I used to. I no longer work on it, and I also respect and appreciate Angela, who works for Carlos King and Kingdom Reign. You know, she gave me the opportunity to work on the